We will welcome you live to Mason High School. It is a warm and windy night here as Lakota East will play the Mason Comets. Both of these teams coming in kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum. Mason coming in 0-2 with a loss to Springboro, 21-7 in week 1. Then they had to go to West to play Lakota West, where they lost 35-13 in a game where they kind of kept it close up until about that third quarter, and then they completely went off the rails. Lakota East coming into this game 2-0. Obviously the huge week 1 victory against Centerville. That score was 35-20. Next week, they played Oak Hills, won 14-7 in a very defensive battle where the offense was shut down. Ethan, what do you have for us for this game?
Yeah, both of these teams, like you said, coming in on the very different sides of this spectrum. Mason trying to clean themselves up here with that 0-2 record. It never looks good. This is their first home game of the season, so they want to show that they know what they're doing here. And Lakota East, on the other hand, they're hot. They just came off of 2 good wins. One, a great win against a really big Centerville team, and then coming back home to play Oak Hills to play and win that defensive game. They want to keep going. They want to keep rolling and secure, hopefully, a good win here against Mason.
Yeah, like you said, Mason, their first home game of the season. They had to go into 2 very hostile environments to play 2 very good teams. Both of those games, it seemed like Mason was putting up a fight, although the final score will not tell you that. This passing offense, led by new quarterback D'Angelo Birch, did not look good in either of those games. D'Angelo Birch only has 135 yards passing, does have 125 yards through the ground. He is their leading rusher on the season, and that's what we saw him do a lot at Princeton. I mean, his run game and his ability to run and throw, but mainly that run game that he was able to do at Princeton was absolutely spectacular. Was a starter as a sophomore, started as a junior. Now, a Mason Comet.
Yeah, for sure. And with a player like D'Angelo Birch, you're going to want to keep him on the ground because his passing stats haven't been showing well. He's thrown for no touchdowns and 2 interceptions so far this season.
It'll be a squib kick, onside kick attempt to start. East will not recover. Mason will get the ball at the 50-yard line. You do see that a lot out of head coach John Kitna. Loves the onside kick attempts. Have not been very successful this year on them. We saw a lot last year, especially in the regular season, early in that season. Caught a lot of teams off guard with that onside kick. No success so far this season. But the Mason Comets will come out, like we talked earlier, D'Angelo Birch leading the way. Running back Brandon Birdsong in the backfield. He had a nice game last week against Lakota West. And West is really a team that you're just not going to be able to run the ball against comfortably. But as I was watching the tape, he looked explosive back there. But here we go. First snap of the game. D'Angelo Birch will set a man in motion and hand it right off to him. He'll find a lane. Tackled at about 47-yard line, just about a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, that was definitely one of those plays where you want to start off just running the ball because it's safe and it's comfortable. And you want to kind of be able to establish the running game early on if you're Mason because, frankly, they can't feel safe passing right now with this insane Lakota East passing defense.
Yeah, this East defense, so many new faces in the secondary, but they have been spectacular. This Mason offense, not one that throws the ball well. Expect them to put it on the ground for most of this game as Birdsong will get the carry. Carson Schroyer there on the tackle, as well as a sea of East defenders. This rushing defense last week for East was great. Oak Hills could only get about 3 yards a carry. It was about the only way, though, they were able to move the ball down the field. And talking to Coach Kip before the game, he said what Mason is going to do is going to be exactly like last year. Short plays, long drives, just trying to move the ball down the field on the ground. D'Angelo Birch, now what he does best, will keep it himself. Brought down that time by Ryder Hooks. Nice little run there from D'Angelo Birch. It'll be a first down for Mason.
Yeah, Mason's definitely going to want to keep using that run game. Like I mentioned earlier, they're going to have to go against a tough defense.
Yeah. Mason will keep it on the ground again that time. Picking up about 4. Sorry for any audio problems, any visual problems. Very cramped up here in the Mason visiting booth. Second down and 6 now for Mason. Birch will look to the sideline. Everyone ready now. Birch will take the snap, hand it off again to Braden Birdsong. He will keep fighting for a Mason first down. Great blocking that time for the big left tackle, Lennon Aguilar, the 6'6", 270-pound senior.
Yeah, definitely. Mason, they're coming out here, and one thing they will take over Lakota East is they're boasting a very large offensive line.
Birdsong on the ground again. Flags will fly, but nowhere to go that time for Brandon Birdsong. Mason could get backed up, seeing what this penalty is.
Penalty looks like it's on the offense.
It will be on the offense. Going to be holding, and that'll set Mason back. Or not holding. Not quite sure what the call was, but Mason will be backed up 5 yards. It'll be a 1st and 15 now. Obviously not what you want to do. Another flag thrown. This time they're signaling it's going to be on Lakota East. So a little bit of a trade-off there with the penalties. Was a 1st and 10, then a 1st and 15, and now back to where it was. 1st and 10 for the Comets. Birch will look to the sideline once again.
Definitely a little bit of confusion out there, not only with Birch looking for some of these calls, but he's also a lot of flags out here too by both teams so far.
East looked like they might have jumped a little bit, but they stay home. Birdsong to the outside. A great tackle made from Cole Miranda on the outside edge. Possibly saving a first down and maybe a touchdown. Cole Miranda, one of those veteran guys on defense that you just want to see keep making those kinds of plays.
Yeah, Cole Miranda's been out here, and now he is in his senior year, 3rd as a starter for this Lakota East defense, and he's just been getting good, nice plays like this, and he's been a great part of this East secondary.
True safety back there, and Cole Miranda, they'll give it. He'll make a cut and a stiff arm up to the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
That is Torian Wiggins on the carry. His first touches of the season coming in this first quarter against Lakota East.
Yeah, Mason, looks like they're doing a lot of moving around here with who they're having in the backfield. Like you mentioned, Torian Wiggins, they're also going to be running some of their other guys here too.
Might have backed them up a little bit. Apologize for me being a little slow. Torian Wiggins did not have a touch all season, was not on my spotting sheet, so I did not know who number 17 was, but do now, but not quite sure what is going on. They are marking Mason back far. They're going to call face mask.
Yeah, I was going to point out, as that play was going on, I saw honestly an atrocious face mask by Mason there. I was wondering if they were going to call it, and it looks like they did.
Obviously not what you want after a huge play on a jet sweep. Those only come so often in a game. Birch now will drop back for the first time this game under a lot of pressure, and he will just throw that one far away from his running back, Birdsong. Looking for it on the screen pass, but pressure put on by Carson Schroyer. Great job that time from Lakota East.
Yeah, for sure. And Mason's definitely going to be pumping out a lot of these short plays, similar to what we see out of Lakota East. A lot of screen passes and a lot of running, for sure.
Yeah, Mason did say they just want to grind this game out. Take it one play at a time, try and gain their yards on the ground. Did that well, but penalties have set them back. PJ McFarland now, Carson Schroyer there too. Incomplete. Trying to find Torian Wiggins again, but nothing doing there. It'll be a 4th and 20 now for the Mason Comets.
Yeah, that was definitely excellent coverage by Lakota East. They're securing this pass game well, and D'Angelo Birch just hasn't been able to hit the ball out, and it's going to be a struggle that I think they're going to be keeping for the rest of this game.
Not a lot of elite threats in the passing game. Nobody above 6'2" on this Mason receiving corps. Just one guy, Chris Hubbard. Only 3 catches on the year, but D'Angelo Birch will drop back on a 4th and 19 and try for the middle of the field. It'll be picked off by Cole Miranda. He's going to be bringing it up the field. If he can break a few tackles, it'll be worth it. So a great play from Cole Miranda, but you got to think maybe he wanted to knock that ball down. Could have been better field position, but nonetheless, hit put on by Ryder Hooks, popped that ball in the air, and now this East offense led by Niall Knutson will take the field.
Yeah, for sure, and that's just an excellent play by the East defense. They got the pressure in there, and that ball was a little high by D'Angelo Birch. It got popped up, and that was just free for Cole Miranda to take and start running.
Not the way you wanted that drive to end for Mason. Obviously got down to the 6-yard line, but penalties brought them back. It'll be a screen pass for Carter Jones. He's got good blocking. He's a man with a lot of speed. He'll get up to the 43-yard line. Already more offense in one play than we saw all last week in the first quarter for Lakota East. Love to see that. Great blocking on the outside by Jaden Say. Was able to spring Carter Jones free.
Yeah, for sure. And East offense here definitely showing signs of what they were looking like in this game against Centerville back in week 1 with a little bit more big plays. And these guys, these receivers getting a lot of yards after their catches.
But again, flags fly on the field. It was holding, and East going to be backed up. So big plays for both sides. Both teams get called back for holding or a face mask. Knutson now with a 1st and 20. We'll do the exact same thing to the other side of Carter Jones. Better blocking this time. Still fighting close to the first down. Carter Jones. East now, after a big pickup on first down, it's 2nd and 4. Love to see the offense finding a rhythm early in this game. Didn't see that at all last week against Oak Hills. Knutson now will drop back on 2nd and short and find Chris Boyer on the outside, who makes a nice catch on the curl route and will pick up a first down. Chris Boyer, one of those guys who really helped East win that game last week, although he did have his drop problems.
Yeah, for sure. And Lakota East's offense is just full of these weapons that Niall Knutson could throw to.
Ryder Hooks now looking for a lane, having to jump over bodies. He will only pick up about 1 yard. So the same story as last week for Ryder Hooks. Not any lanes to run through early.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be, I'm thinking honestly, this is going to be a season of teams prepping for Ryder Hooks. They saw what happened against Centerville, and they want to make sure that doesn't happen to them.
Ryder Hooks close to breaking the career rushing yards record at Lakota East. This time, they'll catch Mason off guard. Ryder Hooks, his first big lane in a while. It'll be a first down for Lakota East. Ryder Hooks with a big run.
Yeah, Ryder Hooks, that was great run. Took up off the side, broke tackles, and I see him leaving the ground again. He's getting some hops in. That was a fantastic play by Ryder Hooks, and good blocking out on the left as well.
Yeah, Ryder Hooks got to be itching to make some big plays. Held in check against Oak Hills, just 38 yards on the ground, and probably his worst game in his high school career. Carter Jones now out of the Wildcat, going to try and find a lane, but he is brought down. Alex Brown, the leader of this defense, stops him for no yards.
Yeah, Alex Brown, the senior, and others putting on a show here trying to stop this run on multiple levels. That time it was Carter Jones and Wildcat. They are going to want to stop. They're going to want to stop the run as much as possible against East, seeing as they lean on it very heavily. And they have a lot of guys to do that, with Alex Brown, Josiah Killens, and Brian O, some of the star players to note here.
Knutson now on 2nd down and 10. He'll get it out to Chris Boyer again, who will pick up about 9 yards. East going back to their bread and butter this game. Lots of screen passes. Just getting it to all their guys that can make plays. None to P.J. McFarland yet. He was also held in check last game. Just 2 catches for 9 yards. Obviously, want to throw it to the Indiana commit a little bit more in this game.
Yeah, and now Knutson's got options, but I definitely agree that you're going to want to get your big tight end the ball whenever you can, because he's a monster when he can get downfield.
Yeah, got to be thinking that they're trying to set that up by giving it to everyone else to start the game. But Lakota East will call a timeout. We'll step away for just a moment. Lakota East driving. We welcome you back to Mason High School. Lakota East benefiting off of some big plays from Ryder Hooks, some big screen passes now with a 3rd down and short. More stoppage from the referees. Claps from this away crowd as Mason will jump off sides, and it'll be a free 1st down, so they will move the chains. Didn't even have to try a play on that 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and East's offense here, honestly, they've been spared by some penalties before. If you look back to week 1, a lot of defensive penalties on Centerville allowed East to get in great position at some key moments in that game. And I'm starting to think we're going to see some of that again tonight.
Yeah, already a lot of penalties being thrown. Ryder Hooks dancing in the backfield. He will fumble the football. Tackled down at the 50. That was Darren Knotts on the fumble recovery. Do not see that much out of Ryder Hooks. Just his 2nd fumble in his high school career.
It almost looked like Ryder Hooks was trying to flick the ball off to one of his teammates, but it got sent in the wrong direction, and it got to the Mason defense. That was Aaron Knott.
Amazing strip from Alex Brown. Tapped it right to his fellow defensive player, Darren Knotts. Knotts almost looked like he was going to return that for a touchdown. Luckily tackled just short of midfield, 49-yard line on Mason's side. D'Angelo Birch back out there after the turnover. Going to be a counter to the right, but even more laundry on the field. They're going to call this on Mason. False start. Sets him back 5.
Yeah, and even in just the first quarter here, flags have been playing a very big part in this game for both sides. And if you're either of these head coaches for Mason or Lakota East, you want your guys to start fixing up their game and clean things up so we don't keep getting more of these penalties.
You see some defensive players in on offense for Mason. Alex Brown lined up at tight end, mainly used for blocking. This time, D'Angelo Burt's going to fake the handoff, but he will get hit right at the line of scrimmage and brought down right where that ball was snapped. Great job from this East defensive line to hold him right there.
That was a great tackle by the safety Beckett Bush getting up front to stop that run.
East going to have a lot of different defensive packages. Some guys sending in a blitz. Everybody bunched down now. Separation on the outside. A lot of holding from Braxton Thurman. Could see that before he even let that ball go. With no safety help back there, East was anticipating the run. Braxton Thurman thought the guy might beat him deep, just grabbed his jersey, and now Mason will be moved up 5 yards.
Yeah, Braxton Thurman making a mistake there with the holding, but honestly, in some of these scenarios, even as an experienced player, you're going to make some of these mistakes, and honestly, he might have just been worried out there. He was in one-on-one coverage. His guy was about to leave him. He just had nothing else to do if he didn't want to lose a touchdown.
A guy like Braxton Thurman, you think maybe he could make a play on that ball if D'Angelo Burch lets it rip. Now going to be second down and much closer. They'll just hand out the Birdsong, but Jaden Ross right there. He is fired up. And now he sprints right off the field after making a huge play. Going to be a 3rd down and 5 now. Mason gets to the line quickly. Trying to catch this East defense off guard. Now has to slow it down. Birch looking to the sideline. Could be a pivotal moment in this first quarter. Can East hold strong on 3rd and 5? Birch will drop back and look deep. Incomplete. Braxton Thurman in coverage. Torian Wiggins could not reel it in.
Yeah, that was a great ball, honestly, and it looked like Torian Wiggins could have caught that, but Braxton Thurman got right up in there and shut that down. What a great defensive play.
Torian Wiggins getting a lot of looks early in this game. Got the first touch of the game, and on one of his jet sweeps that went down to just a 5-yard line, got called back for holding. So Mason liking to have him back. Not quite sure if he was injured the first 2 games this season or not, but they're definitely looking his way early. D'Angelo Burch will stay out there to punt this ball away. Braxton Thurman back to return. This looks to be a good punt from D'Angelo Burch. It'll take a nice bounce all the way to the 1-yard line. Lakota East going to have their work cut out for him now. What a punt from the quarterback.
Yeah, sometimes when you see these quarterbacks that are coming out here to punt as well, you either think that they're going to be a great kicker like we just saw with D'Angelo Burch, or they're not going to get anywhere with it. And it looks like we're going to see the first one out of D'Angelo Burch. What a nice kick to get East in bad positioning here for their second drive of the first quarter.
This is an O-line that is built for the screen passes. Nobody above 6'2", a very agile group. Mason getting loud for 1st and 10 from the 1-yard line. They'll put Carter Jones in motion. They'll give it to him on a jet sweep, dangerously putting him in the end zone. He will get tackled. See where they mark it. It is a safety for the Mason Comets. Questionable decision to run a jet sweep. Carter Jones just couldn't find any room to go.
Yeah, Lakota East was hoping they could get out of the end zone there, trying to maybe run a quote-unquote safe play with that jet sweep. But Mason was ready It's like they've been in the film room. They read that well and stopped him for the safety, putting Mason up 2-0 with 2 minutes 45 left in the first quarter.
Not the way you want to start this game. You got to give all the credit to D'Angelo Birch, putting that ball on the 1-yard line, a perfect punt. And now he's going to have an opportunity to possibly push his Comets up 2 scores on the #1 team in the GMC. If he's able to put this ball into the end zone, going to need a good punt out of here from Tyler Gruber.
Yeah, for sure. And Tyler Gruber, if I'm thinking football right, he's going to have the undefended punt, so he will be able to get that out freely. Hopefully we can get a good, nice boot out of this one.
So East will go out to punt after the safety. Mason deep back to receive. Not quite sure when's the last time I've seen a safety in high school football. Saw it on the score sheet for Princeton against Coleraine last week. It hasn't happened for East in a long time. A solid punt, though, is going to be returned. Great return from Cannon McBarry. And Mason with a lot of momentum now. This East defense being asked to go out there and get a huge stop.
Yeah, Cannon McBarry definitely was not going to be their intended receiver for that punt, but when he got that ball, he just took it and took off down the field. It was a great gain.
So D'Angelo Birch got to be feeling good after setting his team up for success, getting his defense to be able to get a safety, putting East at the 1-yard line. Now gets to go out there, show what he can do on offense. Already proved his worth on special teams. He will keep it himself. D'Angelo Birch, pressured from Dawson Reap, slips out of the sack. He's going to pull it down and run, tackled from behind. Great run from D'Angelo Birch. He will pick up a first down.
That was honestly a crucial mistake by the senior Dawson Reap, just letting him get away from that.
They'll give him a break now and give it to Birdsong, who finds a hole, and Birdsong walks it in.
Brandon Birdsong right up the middle. He came out of that pile almost untouched, and he just got a clean run right into the end zone.
Mason High School is rocking right now. Brandon Birdsong fired up on the sideline. This East team looks a little bit shell-shocked right now. Their offense going to have to respond on their next drive. Max Gogol for Mason with the extra point. It is up and it is good. It is now a 9-0 ball game. Going to need a big drive out of Niall Knutson here to put East back in momentum.
Yeah, Niall Knutson's going to have a lot of weight on his shoulders here after his defense gave up the touchdown. And honestly, in the end of this first quarter, this is definitely not where you want to be. But it can always be worse. Niall Knutson and this East offense just has to maintain their composure, keep things simple, and drive down the field. And they have a little bit over 2 minutes to do it.
This East team not real keen on playing from behind. This is the first time this season that they will go down by 2 scores. First time in Niall Knutson's career that he's going to be going down by 2 scores. We'll have to see how he handles the pressure. Gogol set to kick it off for the Comets. Carter Jones, Ryder Hooks back to return. Gogol, the second-year kicker. Really? He is a senior. This will be his last time in high school kicking footballs.
Yeah, Max Gogol has been 0 for 1 of field goals as of late and is now 3 of 3 for extra points.
Mason sideline getting loud. A line drive kick right at Carter Jones. Bounces off his face mask, but he's able to field it cleanly. Carter Jones looking for some blocks. Going to get spun down at around the 24-yard line. Mason, or Lakota East, with a lot better field position than their last drive. Still just trying to get it out to their playmakers, put him in space. They were able to move the ball on their first drive. Ryder Hooks obviously fumbling the football, but got to think they're going to go back to what they were doing.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, East is definitely in a more comfortable position here. They still can't play like they're all the way down by their end zone, but they definitely are in a better space than being on their own 1-yard line. They can run from back in the backfield and not have to worry about a safety in this time around as they start from about the 25.
I am not quite sure what happened on that last play, but Mason is going to kick it again. No signals from the ref what happened. But Carter Jones or Ryder Hooks will get a second chance. Actually, Jaden Say back there now alongside Carter Jones to return yet another kick. So, deja vu. Here we go again. Gogol kicks it off. Carter Jones will field it cleanly that time. Full head of steam now for Carter Jones. Some great blocks. And more flags fly.
Yeah, Carter Jones was running angry there. He wanted to keep going, and that brought him up to the 35, but there's more flags here, and I'm not sure what's going on anymore.
Just more and more penalties being thrown. You hate to see this. Don't want your game constantly stopped and controlled by penalties. Although I did see Braden August with a pancake block that very easily could have been taken as holding. So East will not be where Carter Jones returned it to. They will be backed up 10 yards. The ref's still going to spot this ball at around the 16-yard line.
Yeah, definitely not somewhere in between their first kickoff received after that touchdown by, I believe it was Brandon Birdsong there a couple minutes ago. But they're definitely not up where they want to be. And I think you might be right on that penalty from holding from Braden August for that block.
Could be worse. You could be at the 1-yard line. Knutson will roll out now, fire to the middle of the field for Jaden Say. Tries to get on the outside. Probably had a first down if he just kept moving forward, but nonetheless, a nice play and a nice throw from now Knutson. They will spot him the first down. So a nice grab from Jaden Say. East offense moving just like they did on the first drive.
Yeah, for sure.
Give it to Ryder Hooks. A lot of trust in their senior running back. He'll pick up about 3. Alex Brown on the tackle, the leader on this Mason defense. He is fired up right now.
Yeah, this Mason defense definitely coming out here and doing what was unexpected from Lakota East. They're doing well in containing the Ryder Hooks run game here.
Oak Hills might have shown the rest of the GMC how to stop Ryder Hooks. Surprised that they're not going for more screen passes to him. Knutson now up the middle of Ryder Hooks. I might have spoken too soon as Ryder Hooks finds a hole and finds the first down. If he was able to put that stiff arm on Emerson Bake, might have been able to break free for more, but a nice run and a nice hole opened up by this East O-line. Brennan Lauber, Braden Pfeffer, this time now P.J. McFarland on the outside. He's got speed for a big man. Pushes up to around the 47-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd and short. They'll say he was spotted a little bit farther back, the 44-yard line. My apologies. 2nd and 4 now East offense moving quickly, trying to tire out this Mason Comets defense. McFarland, after the catch, will go into motion. They'll hand it off to Ryder Hooks. He finds a hole. Stiff arm. Ryder Hooks. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. 34-yard line for Ryder Hooks. Feeling himself once again.
Yeah, for sure. This is sort of what we saw against Centerville. He's breaking off these big runs. He's breaking tackles. He's getting physical and getting this East offense into a great position on the field.
The sooner you can get Ryder Hooks running the ball for first downs, the sooner you're going to be putting up a lot of points on offense. Knutson now drops back, fires down the sideline for Chris Boyer, who makes an incredible catch to the 5-yard line. Chris Boyer, no drop passes here.
Chris Boyer out there head-topping the DB, Darren Knotts. What a fantastic catch to get them into the red zone as the first quarter runs out.
I was worried for a second. Wasn't quite looking at the clock. Everybody was backing up, did not want to see a holding call. But that will be the end of the first quarter. Mason up 9-0, but East feeling good. Some big plays from Ryder Hooks and Chris Boyer will have this offense set up at 1st and goal from the 5 when we come back. We welcome you back now. East at the 5-yard line, looking to get into the end zone. Now Knutson, wide open, Chris Boyer. Touchdown, Lakota East. Chris Boyer, his 2nd touchdown of the young season. East strikes back.
What a fantastic completion to Chris Boyer for the touchdown. He was wide open there, going across the middle of the end zone, and that was just a great, quick play for the touchdown.
A.J. Fitzstevens now on the extra point, has not, or missed an extra point his very first time out, has not missed since. That one looks to be good. A nice kick from A.J. Fitzstevens will make your score 9-7. So East strikes back very quickly with a Chris Boyer touchdown in retaliation to the Brandon Birdsong long touchdown run. Gotta be thinking this Mason defense little bit deflated, their offense having to stand out on the sideline and watch Niall Knutson, the sophomore, perfectly orchestrated down the field with some nice throws to Chris Boyer. But now you just got to maintain what you got on that last drive and go out there, keep running the ball like you did. D'Angelo Birch has looked very nice on the ground, but like we saw in those first 2 weeks, Mason, nothing doing through the air.
Yeah, for sure. And like you mentioned with the Mason defense, if you're them, your ego's a little bit deflated, especially Darren Knotts, who, with that head tap right at the 5-yard line by, I think it was Carson Schroyer. Not Carson Schroyer.
Chris Boyer on that one. If you got a guy that's 6'5", and the man who's guarding him is just 6'1", you're going to want to throw that go ball. Chris Boyer able to come down with it, a very nice contested catch. Yeah, he was the one that was able to recover that fumble on Ryder Hooks. So getting in his head a little bit is Lakota East. Torian Wiggins will catch a very short kick. Don't want to give him any lane to run through. East defense comes back out onto the field. Already more points put up by Mason in this first quarter than all of last week by Oak Hills. East defense holding Oak Hills to just 7 points in a close nail-biter. obviously a little bit deflated, giving up their biggest touchdown of the season to Brandon Birdsong. Going to have to come back out here, try to make some plays. Got to think this East team is definitely ready.
Yeah, for sure. And this East defense, they want to come back. They got to bend and not break here.
Torian Wiggins again on a jet sweep. Seeing a lot of action in this first half. Not much that time, though. He will get just a 3-yard gain. Mason able to have kind of stretched their game plan a bit. Obviously, they wanted to come in and just grind out these drives on the ground, but they have been able to get some huge plays from D'Angelo Birch and Brandon Birdsong. How do you think this East defense is going to be able to stop them in this future of this game?
Yeah, I think to stop this run game, they've been taking it up the middle a lot. They're going to have to load the box as much as they can.
Outside, Torian Wiggins with a nice grab. First completed pass of the day for D'Angelo Birch. He's loving having his wide receiver 1 back out there after missing the first 2 games. First completion for D'Angelo Birch. Obviously, he's feeling good. Miscommunication now for East defense. They'll hand it off to Brandon Birdsong, hoping to just bring him down. He's trying to spin out of tackles. Nice job from this East D-line.
Yeah, Brandon Birdsong just running into a lot of traffic there. He just had to keep going to the side, and maybe he could have broken off for a lot more yardage. But he ran right into a good chunk of the East defense to put them back.
Stoppage now. Referees talking to the Mason sideline. Wonder if they're signaling for the lights to be turned up brighter. Getting a little bit dark here. Yeah. Night games at this beautiful Mason Stadium, always fun. Incredible atmosphere here. The Comet faithful has showed out for their first home game, and they got to like what they're seeing after starting this season 0-2 to be able to come out like this against a 2-0 Lakota East team. Yeah. Promising for the rest of this Mason Comets future season.
Yeah, definitely. And if I'm looking out here against the home crowd, and I'm seeing a ton of people, they've been waiting for this. They've been wanting to see their Mason Comets at home, and here it is. And they've been putting on a good game so far.
But very rough start having to go into Springboro and into Lakota West. Now at home, he'll get it out to Brandon Birdsong, who's tackled down from Dalton Cheney and Dawson Reap, the sophomore and the senior, combining to stop him. It'll be a nice little pickup, though. 3rd down and 4. Got to think this Mason team is probably going to want to keep this ball on the ground. Could be go-for-it territory at the 50.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd like to point out a great season so far that Dawson Cheney's been having. Just a sophomore getting a good amount of plays here on the starting varsity defense, and he's doing great so far.
Birch now will fake the give and get an easy first down, and he has a lane up the sideline. Beckett Bush trying to push him out. Cole Miranda also there, but it is a very nice run for D'Angelo Birch. Looking a lot like what we saw at Princeton. Great blocking that time from this Mason offensive line. And Mason moving now. They'll want to get to the line quickly. Birch feeling good. He'll drop back to pass. Get it out for a very short catch. Spun down that time. That was Jamie and Martin on the reception.
Yeah, Mason definitely trying to spread the ball out more here. Definitely trying to get D'Angelo Birch to throw more than he has these first 2 weeks. And it's been working. Well,
they're keeping it short, but this time they'll just give it to Brandon Birdsong again, who's trying to push, gets closer to that first down. With the push, he might get there. And the refs will give it to him. First down for the Comets, and now going to be a long 1st and goal right at the 10-yard line. They'll just give it to Birdsong again, liking what he did on the last play. This time he is dropped quickly. Carson Schroyer having none of it. is East defense trying to retaliate to this Mason O-line walking all over him.
Yeah, East definitely moving around a lot of their big guys here up front on defense. And they want to stop this close-up run. When you got guys like D'Angelo Birch and Brandon Birdsong that you can take and run for these big yards, you just got to be careful on all parts of the game.
Well, the run defense, not exactly East's strongest point. A lot of yards given up the first week to Centerville. Still able to get the win off a strong offense as Birch will push far. Not quite sure where they'll spot him, but he flew out at the end of that play, close to the 2-yard line. Says they're going to spot him at around the 4. So a 3rd down and goal now. Can this East defense hold strong, or will Birch be able to punch it in? Wouldn't be surprised to see a run right up the middle to Birdsong or a Birch keeper. They will go right up the middle to Birdsong, and he will get stuffed right at the 1-yard line. Carson Stroyer again with the tackle. And we'll have to see, does Mason want to push it to a 2-score game once again, keeping the pressure on now Knutson in this East offense, or will they opt for the field goal? Definitely looking like they're going to keep that offense out on the field. Pivotal moment in this game. D'Angelo Birch, Braden Birdsong in the backfield, along with their defensive star Alex Brown. Mason will take a timeout to think about it. Maybe just trying to get a look.
Yeah, the Lakota East, this away section, they've been getting riled up on these big plays, really coming in and kind of being the 12th man here, stopping the decision-making factor from this Mason offense here on the goal line. And if you're the Mason offense, I would say go for it. You got D'Angelo Birch, you have Braden Birdsong, and you have this giant O-line here, all mostly seniors and juniors with the one sophomore, Xander Gabri, and they just want to keep punching it through here.
Yeah, you have a huge O-line. I'll read it down. Left tackle 6'6", left guard 6'1", center 6'3", right guard 6'1", right tackle 6'4", all 230 pounds and bigger. Would not be surprised to see them go right behind their senior left tackle, Lennon Aguilar, the 6'6", 270 freak of nature. We will see D'Angelo Birch. Once again, Brandon Birdsong. East section getting loud. Birdsong will go out in motion. Birch will just keep it himself and walk in. Touchdown, Mason Comets. With the extra point, they could make this game 16-7. An amazing drive that time from D'Angelo Birch.
Definitely. He just walked right in behind his big guys up front, especially Joey Oscar and Xander Gabri helping a lot to get him into the end zone there.
If you have the size advantage, why not go for it, right? 4th and 1, right at the goal line. Birch walks it in, exactly what he did at Princeton. Max Gogol with the extra point is good. This, once again, a 2-score ball game. 7-16. We will step away for just a moment. We welcome you back now. Mason High School, your Comets up 16-7 against the #1 team in the GMC. Gogol with a nice kick deep into the end zone. It'll be a touchback as now Knutson and this East offense has to go and answer once again.
Yeah, this East offense is playing in a deep hole right now, down by 9 points. And honestly, this offense has been a little bit of a struggle so far, even though we have had a Chris Boyer show with him getting in the end zone for the touchdown and that completion. There's been some big mistakes with that safety by Carter Jones in near the beginning and the fumble by Ryder Hooks. This East offense needs to start cleaning things up a little bit.
You got to think how much more control could this East team could have had if they did not allow that safety. But it's in the past now. Got to answer. Knutson steps up in the pocket, finds Chris Boyer again in the middle of the field, making guys miss and dragging for Mason Comets for another nice gain. Chris Boyer has all the intangibles you could want. 6'5", over 200 pounds with strong hands and speed to go with it. Just got to find him the football. Had a drop problem last week. Looking absolutely spectacular this week.
Yeah, Chris Boyer is definitely back. Like you mentioned, he had some issues last week. He must have been doing something in practice because he is doing great.
And Ryder Hooks getting back to his old self after a little week-long blip against Oak Hills, an 8-yard run. This East defense still trying to find their footing, but this offense moving with a lot of swagger and a lot of poise right now. Not worried about the score. Their main goal is to just every drive put 7 up on the board. Carter Jones will check in. 3 receivers to your left. Jaden Say, Carter Jones, McFarland now goes into motion. They'll give it again to Ryder Hooks, running behind Gabe Abdenador. And he will pick up the first down. A patient run from Ryder Hooks keeps the chains moving.
That was a great run by Ryder Hooks. Taking a second to let his blocks develop so he can get and fight for those last couple of inches for that first down.
East offense keeps moving the ball. Not a lot of pushback from this Mason defense. McFarland again in motion. Got to think they'll give it to Ryder Hooks again. Great blocks on the outside. Ryder Hooks looking for the outside, cuts it back to the inside. Keeps spinning. A first down for Ryder Hooks, inching closer to that career rushing record. He's feeling good in this one.
Yeah, for sure. And as this game's going on, Ryder Hooks has been finding himself again. After that hiccup last week with Oak Hills, he is back and has a great first half accumulating here.
The only thing missing right now from his stat line is a touchdown. Knutson with a little bit of QB read there. Ryder Hooks again just takes it for about 4 yards. Got to think they'll probably give him a break soon.
Yeah, a little bit of roughage there from Ryder Hooks and Lewis Walker as he came off the sideline. And that's one of those things where Ryder Hooks is great at just kind of shrugging it off and getting back on the field for the next play.
Could have been a few words said back and forth between those two, but Ryder Hooks not the one to pick fights. Knutson now looks for a screen pass again to Ryder Hooks. Shakes off of a big hit. He's got a lane. He's got the speed. He is pushed out of bounds.
That was
Emerson Bake able to finally stop Ryder Hooks. Kind of looked like Darren Knotts was going to be able to lay the boom on him, but that's really hard to do against Ryder Hooks. East now at the 9-yard line. Knutson under center. Again to Ryder Hooks. He's carried this drive. Another patient run. He cuts it again. Looking for the edge. Hits the pylon. Ref gets knocked out. Waiting for the call. What will he say? Gonna say right at the 1-yard line.
That ref definitely not happy. I mean, you definitely got to wait on the call after being knocked over, but wonder if there's even a little bit of bias in there from that ref after getting hit.
We can wonder all we want, but this East offense is back again, and an easy, almost. They're going to probably say he was short. A great job that time. Dave Hutton getting into the backfield to stop Ryder Hooks would look like a surefire touchdown is now going to be a 3rd and goal. East at the inch line. No question in their play call, though. Didn't have to look to the sideline. McFarland will go into motion. They'll give it to Ryder Hooks, trying to punch it in. He will that time. Touchdown, Ryder Hooks. His 4th touchdown of the season. A great push from this East O-line will put East 3 points closer. With an extra point, could bring it within 2.
Yeah, for sure. Ryder Hooks being able to capitalize off that great personal drive he had. And this is starting to shake out as a fantastic game, similar to what he did back in Centerville in week 1.
Well, Chris Boyer had the first down of that drive. And then after that, it was all Ryder Hooks. You got to think that he is definitely going to be tired. So this game now 14-16, 4 minutes, 12 seconds left in this first half. Mason been able to hang with the #1 team in the GMC, trying to get their first win of the season and do it in front of their home crowd where they are playing for the first time this season.
Yeah, for sure. And this is one of those games where coming into it, we don't know for sure what it's going to be looking like. Mason, objectively a pretty good team, but they also had to face 2 really difficult opponents in weeks 1 and 2. So it's turning out to be kind of a shootout here as we have a little bit over 4 minutes left in the second quarter.
So a lot different than what we saw last week. Obviously, we've said it enough today already. We'll move on from it, but a 14-7 victory against Oak Hills. Now 14-16 this first half. Both of those kinds of games can be fun, though. Defensive battles. Sometimes you just want to watch a little 1950s football, don't you? But obviously everyone loves a shootout. This shaping up to be one. Another kick, that time to Torian Wiggins. He will take it instead of calling the fair catch. Brought down at about the 36-yard line. East not wanting to kick this ball deep. Brandon Birdsong back there to return for Mason. He's had an incredible first half.
Yeah, for sure. Brandon Birdsong has been getting a lot of touches this first half. He's gone in the end zone once, and it has been a good, smooth sailing game for at least Brandon Birdsong and Emilio Birch as they continue to run their ball here. Yeah,
this Mason team finally getting some explosiveness back that they've been missing for a good 2 years. Last year, Aston Schaaf is their quarterback. Just when they would play, it just seemed like none of their plays would go for more than 20 yards at a time on their best one. This time, going to be a handoff to Torian Wiggins, moving quickly, close to a first down. Tackled at around the 45-yard line. Nice run there from Torian Wiggins, who has gotten a bulk of the carries and receptions for this Comet offense. This time, going to be a handoff. He is spun down, close to a first down, though. Cannon McBarry. They will call it a first down, just barely getting it. Cannon McBarry staying in the backfield now. Tristan Niehaus in motion. Newhouse. None of these Comets tight ends have caught a pass. Not a team that's going to really use them in the passing game, though. A lot of blocking for their running backs. D'Angelo Birch now will drop back a clean pocket. Deep down the field for Jamian Martin. Incomplete, a little bit too far. Working on Beckett Bush. Had a step or two, but D'Angelo Birch just put it a little bit too far in front of him.
Yeah, that was definitely a close throw there. And you're right, D'Angelo Birch, I think that might have been the farthest he's thrown the ball down the field, and it ended up not working out for him. So I think they're going to go back right to the run game here.
Definitely a lot of things opening up for this Mason offense, finding much more success against Lakota East than they did against either Springboro or Lakota West. They were able to open things up on the ground against West, which is hard to do against that strong Lakota West defense. But now they feel more comfortable. They're really starting to air it out now, but Birch going to just run it himself for a gain of about 7. Talk about that explosiveness. He looks quick when he gets the carry. Him and Brandon Birdsong can really score from anywhere on the ground. East got to stay on their toes.
Yeah, for sure. And with all these guys running here, you're gonna have to be ready for who's gonna get the ball. They've been spreading out who's getting these touches on the run game, and East needs to be ready for it.
Lot of confusion. Gonna get one of those penalties. Everyone but the center. False start. Mason will get sprung back about 5 yards. So what went from a 3rd and 4 will now be a 3rd and 9. You can't do that chance coming from this East student section, and oh my goodness.
The ref almost does it.
Did he just think he was trying to step forward? What? Excuse my bias, but I am with this East away crowd right now. Absolutely shocking that they call that penalty on East. The center didn't even snap the ball. The whole O-line moved but the center. How can you call that on East? But it'll be a first down for Mason. Put my bias away for now as Brandon Birdsong will get the carry on a free first down. Got to think this East defense playing with a little bit of fire after that questionable call.
Yeah, for sure. If I'm anybody on this East defense, if I'm anybody at East and all, I'm mad. That's not something you want to be seeing. And they're going to be playing with a little bit more of a chip in their shoulder now after a call like that. They want to move Mason back. They want this ball back here.
I mean, you got to wonder what they're thinking. I'm up here. My heart's racing a little bit too. I'm not even down on the field trying to tackle their guys. But D'Angelo Birch will fake the handoff to Birdsong. He'll just push through the pile. Really nice blocking from this Mason O-line. Mason be able to run the ball soundly. Not a lot of tackle for losses for this East defense. They're going to say that he was close to the first down. They will give it to him. More stoppage from the referees.
They're definitely having their way this game. It's been a lot of interference from the refs in many ways here. Stopping the clock, throwing flags. They're changing and putting a big outcome in what's going on right now.
I think East just got to be a little more disciplined. A lot of those holding calls, pushing them back on drives where they could have taken advantage. Mason has had their fair share of penalties too, both sides early in the season. Very undisciplined so far in this game. Laundry all over the field. Birch now in the backfield. They'll hand it off to Brandon Birdsong again. A really nice tackle there. But he will look like he'll push it up about 4 yards. 3rd down and 6 now.
And Dawson Reeb coming in with that tackle, and I think after that missed tackle he got on the quarterback earlier, he's been coming in with a little bit of anger now.
Birch now will keep it himself. More running lanes. Mason moving the ball soundly right now. Just want to see a little more pushback from this East D-line. Birch will spike the ball with about 25 seconds left. This will be most likely the last drive we'll see of this first half. If Mason is able to put this ball into the end zone, going to be a lot of confidence in that locker room at half. East could possibly go down 2 scores here. They were down at halftime against Centerville 13-12, but obviously you'd rather it be a 1-score ball game than a 2-score ball game. Trying to hold Mason to just a field goal here. Max Gogol, while he hasn't connected on any of his field goals yet this year, he is a good kicker. D'Angelo Birch will keep it again. Surprised to see them keeping it on the ground. 19 seconds left and ticking, but Mason will call a timeout. Mason could be trying to get to that left side to line up their kicker in a spot where he likes to be on that left hash mark. But it will be a timeout, Mason. We will stay with you nearing the end of this first half. Mason been driving the ball well, been tearing East up on the ground.
Yeah, for sure. East's going to want to go into this locker room and at halftime, and they're going to want to be ready to stop this run game. And in my eyes, East has always kind of been a second-half team, so they're going to want to come out here after halftime. They're going to want to be hot and ready because they can't have Mason running all over them like this any longer.
No, I'm drawing comparisons here, this Mason Comets team to that Centerville team. I know we keep going back to the first game of the season, but Centerville had a bigger O-line, not exactly stellar receivers. They did have Ryan Swanson, a guy kind of like Torrin Wiggins, who's gotten almost all of their looks when they throw the ball. D'Angelo Birch kind of moving like Shane Cole where he can run or throw. Brandon Birdsong, that Parker Johnson kind of back, explosive runs. East, can they do what they did against Centerville this second half? We're still in the first half though as Birch looks to the end zone, well out of bounds. Great coverage that time. Xavier Leggett, Braxton Thurman. Not Xavier Leggett, my apologies. That is the Panthers wide receiver.
Yeah, for sure. D'Angelo Birch.
Chris Leverett.
Yeah. D'Angelo Birch, definitely not the first guy you think of when you think of a gunslinger quarterback. He's definitely going to be more of an on-the-ground guy as they bring out the field goal team here.
Not quite sure what I was thinking there with the Xavier Leggett. I see the V's and the double T's. So, Chris Leverett making a big play on defense will force Mason to kick this field goal right before half. Gogol with a nice-looking kick. It is good. Mason will push this lead up to 19-14. East going to have 9 seconds left. A lot of explosive players on this team. Mason most likely going to play conservative. If nothing goes wrong here for Mason, they will go into halftime up 19-14, like I just said, feeling really good about themselves. They have just been perfect on the ground.
Yeah, and this East defense, they need to get their running game and their running defense a little bit back here because, like you said, D'Angelo Birch and Brandon Birdsong have just been going all across the field, inside, outside, and upside down. This has just been crazy running from the Mason offense so far.
The Rider Hooks, Carter Jones will be back to return. Per usual, Max Gogol, who just kicked a field goal, his first field goal of the season that he made, missed one in the first game of the season, a deep kick. Carter Jones just going to take a knee in the back of the end zone. A touchback for Lakota East, a really good boot from Max Gogol. 9 seconds on the clock. Probably just going to see a screen pass or a kneel down, but Mason, got to be careful. Don't want to give this East team too much space. Any one of these guys can break one free.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm thinking we're going to see a really conservative play out of this East offense here. You don't want to break off anything too big. You don't want to go too risky. Even with the little bit of time that you have left, it looks like they're just going to take a QB kneel.
They will try to catch him a little bit off guard. Carter Jones trying to get up the sideline, pushed out of bounds by number 15, Dave Hutton. Does get out of bounds, though, with 3 seconds left. Came out with a QB kneel look, and then a little of a quiet little handoff to Carter Jones. Mason was ready for it. Would not be shocked to see them just kneel this one down. Going to halftime, count your blessings. It's just a one-score game, a safety given up. Could have been a touchdown on that last drive, but we will go into halftime. Your score, 19-14. Lakota East going to need a big half like they had against Centerville. We'll see what they've got in them when we come back from halftime. We welcome you back. Felt like a very long halftime. Both of these teams getting warmed up this first half. Very opposite of what we saw last game. A lot of scoring, a lot of offense. This Mason offense keeping the ball on the ground. Brandon Birdsong and D'Angelo Burtz just churning away at this East defense, picking up yardage and picking up a couple of touchdowns to go along with their great defensive play. A punt from D'Angelo Burtz pinned East back at the 1 yard line. They did a little pop pass to Carter Jones that went absolutely nowhere. In fact, it went backwards for a safety. And on their very next drive after receiving the punt, after that safety, they were able to get a long touchdown from their running back, Brandon Birdsong. Ethan, I'm Beck Lucas. Don't know if I said that up here with Ethan Lennon. Ethan, what do you think this East team has to do to take control in this second half?
I'm thinking East is going to need to maintain some more consistency. They're going to have to be playing smart. Some of these issues have been small things, but they've been costing them a lot. Like, this safety may have only given Mason 2 points, but that means East's going to have to fight just a little bit harder to get this lead back. And honestly, it's been a good game by both teams, and East has the potential to come back and win this in style because that's been their game for a while now.
This is Mason's first home game of the season, and they are showing out right now. Their offense absolutely shut down the first 2 weeks. Only 7 points against Springboro, 13 against West. Could not get the ball moving on the ground. They are having their way with this East defense. But on the East's side on offense, Ryder Hooks has been getting things going again. Could not get a stat sheet once again at halftime. Ryder Hooks pretty close to that 100-yard mark and had one of East's 2 touchdowns. The other one going to Chris Boyer, who had a sensational first half. Had a couple of drops last game. No drops this game. He made a great contested catch to put East down at the 1 yard line and then later caught the touchdown on that drive. It's been a lot of just Chris Boyer and Ryder Hooks, but still, and Carter Jones too. I mean, he's had a lot of screen passes as well that's broken loose. So many weapons on this East team. They haven't even thrown the ball once to Jaden Say. And he's one of those guys last week, 4 catches, 97 yards, not even 1 target this game. So they still have him in their back pocket to go to on any given play. But East will be set to receive. Definitely going to want to put a touchdown up. Offense, obviously a little deflated. Halftime will do that to you. But bring you back to that Week 1 game against Centerville. 13-12, down by 1 point in a hostile environment like Centerville. They absolutely dominated that second half. Ended up winning the game 35-20. Was able to put up. Can't quite do math. It's been a long day. Had a math test earlier today, but they were put up a lot of unanswered points. The score was 35-13 at one point. I apologize for that. So definitely going to want to repeat that here.
Yeah,
I was drawing comparisons too. I know I'm talking too much, Ethan. I'll let you have your turn, but D'Angelo Burtz and Brandon Birdsong really reminding me of Shane Cole and Parker Johnson of that Centerville offense. Are you drawing any comparisons to that too?
I agree. I'm seeing a lot of this heavy run game like Centerville was going with. And there's also been what Centerville had in that big inconsistency with the passing game. And also, they just haven't been able to get the ball down very far in the field. And it's just been a game that for both offenses, these guys have been struggling a little bit. Even with this score, it's been a lot of points scored by both teams. And honestly, I think there's still just some big errors coming through by both teams, including the Ryder Hooks fumble earlier today.
Yeah, interception thrown on Mason's first drive. I mean, it was a desperation heave on 4th and 20, showing a lot of aggressiveness. Cole Miranda did have the interception. But Ryder Hooks did drive off of that interception, and Ryder Hooks fumbled the ball, just his second fumble in his high school career. Do not see that often. Great fumble, forced fumble by Alex Brown, the leader on this Mason defense. Number 1, the linebacker. This is a line drive kick from Vogel. as we get back into action. Carter Jones will be forced to take a touchback. Now Knutson leading this East offense back out there to start this second half.
Yeah, an East offense, they're coming out strong from halftime. They want to get a score here. They want to be able to capitalize, and they have plenty of ways to do it. They got rider hooks. They got Braxton Thurman. And then if you look outside, you're going to have P.J. McFarland, your big tight end. And then in the world of wide receivers, you got Jaden Say, Chris Boyer, and Carter Jones, all great targets that East can use.
All they have to do is get into space. Easier said than done, though. Carter Jones going to be spun down. Alex Brown with a nice tackle, but East will pick up quite a few. Carter Jones, a lot of catches on those screen passes, some good blocking on the outside too, but this Mason defense has been ready for it. Just inopportune times that East has gotten the ball. I mean, got it at the 1. You look like you're going to score. Ryder Hooks fumbles it, and you find yourself only putting up 14 points in that first half when you easily could have upwards of 28 if you're able to capitalize on those two drives. Trying to get Ryder Hooks back into the swing of things. He's going to make a cut up the field, trying to outrun everybody. Gets to the 46-yard line, definitely over that 100-yard mark now. Great blocking on the outside from this East O-line.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot more improvement by this East O-line. Even if these are some smaller guys, they're still able to get blocks out there when they need them. And there's a good reason why Ryder Hooks has been having the game he is.
Another swing pass to Carter Jones. He'll get up about 5 yards. It really looks like on most of these screen passes, Mason defense all over it, but East, outside guys, Chris Boyer, Jaden Say, holding strong on their blocks. Carter Jones has been able to spring a couple of those free. East's go-to is short runs and screen passes. Don't see a lot of deep balls, but when they do, it's always good. Again, Carter Jones, this time a hook and ladder to Ryder Hooks. Like I said, trying to get him into space. Ryder Hooks makes a cut to the 30-yard line. A little trickery from Carter Jones to Ryder Hooks. East offense feeling good to start this second half.
Yeah, that was just a great trick play by Carter Jones. A perfectly timed lateral back to, Ryder Hooks, who could just take that up the field, and now they are in Mason's side of the field.
Big plays, what East loves to do on offense. Now Knutson now over the middle to P.J. McFarland. You hear the reaction from the away crowd. Excited to see P.J. McFarland catching the ball. Gonna be a first down for the big tight end. East moves the chains again. They've been able to get receivers wide open in the middle of the field this game, exploiting Mason's zone defense.
Yeah, for sure. And especially P.J. McFarland, even if he can't be getting these receptions and these big plays, he's still contributing a lot for this offense, getting great blocks as he's moving around here.
Knutson tipped at the line of scrimmage. Flags fly. It could have been dangerous. Jake Coling almost could have gotten an interception. He was trying to look for Carter Jones. We'll have to see what the penalty is. They will call it on East. So East getting backed up. You saw that a lot in the first half, unfortunately. Don't want it to be a drive killer.
Yeah,
it'll be holding. It's going to back them up 10 yards.
For sure. East's been kind of getting hit hard by some of these calls. This one and that crazy one earlier.
Knutson now, screen pass to Ryder Hooks. This time he connects. Ryder Hooks has the outside, cuts it back to the inside. Gets it to the 15-yard line. Ryder Hooks having himself a night.
That was a great play by Ryder Hooks, and he's one of those guys where you can have him in the backfield running all over the place, but you can also throw him the ball in some of these screen passes where he could just take it and go. And East moves back again.
So take away the screen pass. Big play from Ryder Hooks. Now packed up. 1st and 20 again. They're making him redo the down.
Not totally sure what that call was on here, but East's in kind of a mode where they're just trying to get anything they can get here.
They're just going to give it to Ryder Hooks, trying to do exactly what he did earlier. Can't quite get the same success. He'll push it to close to the 20-yard line, only going to be about a 6-yard run. East was moving the ball with ease. Get down to the red zone. Penalties back you up. Just want to find that rhythm, find that groove. This a drive where you kind of have to score a touchdown if you want to take control of this game. They will give it to Ryder Hooks again. You think he's got to be a little tired. It doesn't matter, though. Ryder Hooks brings it close. 3rd down now. Another great run from Ryder Hooks and even better blocking from this East O-line. The left side of that East O-line really showing out. Nana Balfour, the 6'2", 265-pound junior left tackle. I see that is Jack Snyder, the sophomore on that left side. Nana's on the right. Love to see that out of the young guys. A lot of questions about how this East O-line was going to play. Everybody a new face. They do really well when it's on the outside. We'll see who they call this on. Mason pointing it on East, and they are going to say that it was on East. More penalties backing this offense up. Went from about a 3rd and 6 to now a 3rd and 11 or 12. Knutson now definitely going to be dropping back to pass. We'd be surprised to see a run play here. Got to think, if you're able to push this ball close to the 1st down, is there any thought about maybe going for it even though you're this close to a field goal?
Yeah, for sure. And if I'm anybody on this East offensive coordinator team, I'm wanting them to spread their receivers out here.
Underneath hand onto Braden August. He's going to make a man miss. The sophomore trying to fight as far as he can for the 1st down. Alex Brown looking a little gassed. It's going to stop him just short. 4th and about 1 now. This a huge play in this game. Now Knutson and the rest of this East offense will stay out there. Would not be surprised to see a handoff to Ryder Hooks. Need just about 1 yard. This a huge play to start the half. McFarland goes into motion. You see that a lot on the run plays. And Mason jumps.
That's a game-saving play here for Lakota East. They are very happy with this call.
A.J. Kaler, number 32 for Mason, just a little bit too eager to try and stop Ryder Hooks. JT Kitna was so good with that hard count, getting people to jump. Now Knutson in this new offense gets it at a perfect time.
Yeah, that was just great. And now Knutson did that hard count well. And like you said, making that comparison to JT Kitna. And he's out here being coached under JT's father, John Kitna. So that's kind of where I feel like you're getting the comparison from.
Knutson now just going to give it out to Chris Boyer, who makes a nice one-handed grab and gets spun in for a touchdown. Chris Boyer, his 2nd touchdown of the night, and East will take the lead, overcoming penalties on their opening drive. Perfectly orchestrated down the field. What a way to start.
That was just a beautiful touchdown by Chris Boyer. Believe that will be his 2nd on the day. And this is turning out to be quite a game by Lakota East's very own senior wide receiver, Chris Boyer.
Chris Boyer. We're not talking about his drops anymore. He has caught every ball that's been thrown to him. Now Knutson, his 2nd touchdown pass of the day, and he has been very efficient in his 1st year on varsity. East will opt to go for 2. They'll get it out to P.J. McFarland, who is wide open, and tack on 2 more for this Thunderhawks offense. They are up 22-19. What an opening drive.
That was just a beautiful first drive in this 2nd half by Lakota East. These guys are excited, and so is this away crowd. We are hyped up tonight.
Definitely feeling that energy on this East sideline and this East crowd. Not the first half you wanted against a team ranked 8th in the GMC, who had the 8th worst offense, not a great defense, but you're up by 3 scores now. You've kind of taken control of this game. Would not be surprised to see Mason just go back to that run, trying to grind this game out. That's what they talked about they were going to do all week. They've been able to do it in that first half, but now the pressure's on, down by 3. Going to have to, at the very least, try and tie this game up with a Max Gogol field goal. But a sigh of relief for this East away crowd as their Thunderhawks are finally in the lead for the first time this game.
Yeah, for sure. As Mason's offense comes back out here soon, we're going to see a lot of what we saw here before. A lot of runs and a lot of short plays. But they're going to get there.
Fitzstevens with a short kick. Jamian Martin trying to find a lane. Swallowed up at the 25-yard line. Pressure's on for D'Angelo Birch and Brandon Birdsong. They have to respond after a very nice Lakota East drive. Do you think they're just going to go right back to the run, Ethan?
I'm thinking they're probably going to go just back to the run, but I won't be surprised if they try and spread things out a little bit. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen a whole lot of Chris Hubbard tonight. I've been hearing some talk about him, and he hasn't gotten the ball a whole lot, not only not tonight, but not even really this season, with only a couple receptions for not very many yards.
Asked to step up the first 2 weeks with Torian Wiggins being out. Maybe some things could open up for him in the second half with Torian Wiggins being back in this game. Watch out for number 17 on the outside, though, as Birch is just going to try and carry this football for the first. Not going to be near, though. Going to be about the second down and 5. Still, though, if you're Mason, you're loving just these short 5-6 yard gains. Don't have to think about it too much. Your O-line is getting a great push against this East D-line.
Yeah, for sure. And even though these individual plays by Mason aren't giving them a ton, they're still combining a lot of these 5 or 6 yard runs, and they're creating great drives with some of these offensive weapons, D'Angelo Birch and Brandon Birdsong.
Birdsong now on the outside. Great job from Dawson Reap, and that's exactly what you need. Only going to be about a 2 or 3 yard gain, but a push will make him fall forward for a little bit more. Still, though, an early third down on Mason's first drive of the half. This a big play for Lakota East. If they're able to stuff Mason just one more time, got to think Mason's going to go out there and punt this football away. We will have to see. They'll give it to Braden Burson. No, D'Angelo Birch will keep it and get to the 50-yard line. A great run from D'Angelo Birch. Huge pickup on 3rd and short. Not quite sure why my mic cut out there, but
that's just really nice by D'Angelo Birch, just taking off the left side, and he just got going, giving Mason their, I believe, 3rd first down of this drive after it came really close there on 3rd and 4.
I mean, to go along with this dominant run game, you see right there, they've really been great on 3rd downs, converting almost all of them, only getting to 4th down once, and on that 4th down, they pretty much scored themselves 2 points by kicking the ball to the 1-yard line. Definitely some amazing improvements for this Mason offense. And these refs could be moving the ball even further. Some boos from this away crowd. It will stay where it is, however. Away crowd getting a little restless with all the stoppages and penalties.
I almost think I heard what sounded like a personal foul there, but the ball's still where it was a little bit ago. I'm not sure.
Birch now will keep it himself. Carson Schroyer falls over his own man. Jamian Martin can't get to it. Missed throw and a huge missed opportunity from D'Angelo Birch. Jamian Martin wide open downfield. Miscommunication in East secondary, but they really luck out. Just too far ahead of Jamian Martin.
Yeah, you can tell D'Angelo Birch wants to throw this ball. He's wanting to get this down the field, but he's just been putting too much on it, and his guys haven't been able to get it. This time it was Jamian Martin. I believe before it was Cannon McBarry, who was just a little bit out too behind, and that ball was just too much.
Carson Schroyer almost got pressure. Just looked like he tripped over his own man, and now Brandon Birdsong is going to try and churn, and it'll be another 3rd down and manageable for Mason. That a great opportunity to put him back in a 3rd and long after the 1st down incompletion, but it will be now 3rd down and 5 Birch will keep it himself like he's done all night. He will be cut down short of the first down. Dawson Reap, Carson Schroyer. Great play defensively. Carson Schroyer looks to be a bit shaken up. He will jog off the field. But his effort will be known. Mason offense gonna stay out there. Not surprised to see that. Need to retaliate after a nice East touchdown. Definitely think on this 4th and short they're gonna keep it on the ground.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, they're gonna keep it consistent as this Lakota East away section is getting loud.
Birch is going to keep it himself. A man wide open down the field is Alex Brown. They did the opposite of what everyone was thinking. A perfect throw from D'Angelo Birch. Flags fly, though. Little bit of extracurriculars at the end of that play. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Mason. So what would have been a 1st and goal from the 8 will be backed up. Nevertheless, a really nice catch from the linebacker, Alex Brown.
And that was a great play by D'Angelo Birch and Alex Brown throwing off the defense. Because if you saw, he was wide open. I mean, everybody was too busy getting ready for that run. You see Carson Schroyer and Dawson Reap loading the box, and they come out and chuck the ball downfield for that big gain, getting Mason back into the red zone.
High risk, high reward. 4th down, you've been running the ball well all day. You decide 4th and short in a big moment. We're going to air it out finally. Alex Brown, a huge catch. And the throw from D'Angelo Birch, just put it right on the money. Didn't quite hit him in stride, but didn't really need to. Flags fly again. More laundry. About probably the 30th penalty we've seen tonight. But Mason will get backed up. At this point, I'm not even happy that it's on Mason. I just am tired of seeing flags fly out of the referee's pockets. But you will take it as an East supporter.
Yeah, for sure. There's just been – the refs have been running this game, honestly, and not even that they're officiating. They've been making some huge deciding factors. Their flags are on the field more than it's in their pocket. And honestly, I don't know what to say. I'm not allowed to have a bias, so I'm up here just kind of going with the flow.
I think both of us are a little bit biased against the refs, not really against any team up here right now. Birch will keep it himself, and once again, he will just keep his legs running. He'll pick up about 5 yards again. Just seems like every single time Birch keeps it, it could go for big, and if it doesn't, he's just pushing the pile for 4 or 5 yards. They'll go quickly. Birch not tired at all. He will take it again, trying to push the pile again. That time stopped in his tracks. Going to be close for a 1st down. He will get it. So now, right where they would have been after the Alex Brown catch had it not been for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, for sure. And you want to give...
Oh, my goodness. It is 3rd down. I was under the impression they had just picked up the 1st, but you're right, the unsportsmanlike conduct, the 1st down at the 1-yard line. No, it's 3rd and goal. So this Mason offense was just trying to push it as close as they could. 2 plays now to try and get into the end zone. Would not be shocked to see them go for it. Field goal if they don't pick it up here. Birch trying to push his way, will not get it. 4th down coming up in a decision to make. If you're Mason, do you tie this game? Surefire kicker Max Gogol, very good kicker, tie this game. Or do you load the box, say D'Angelo Birch, get us those 3 yards that you need to punch this into the end zone? We'll have to see. Looks like Birch will stay out there. Huge play in this game, like Birdsong out to the outside. Birch doing exactly what he did in the 1st half. Falls in for the touchdown. Mason will retake the lead. More back and forth football. D'Angelo Birch once again.
Yeah, D'Angelo Birch, honestly, I want to give a little bit of a shout out to him here. He's getting ran through almost all the time here. He's going to be their almost #1 runner here. And he's getting beaten up on a lot of these plays, and he's just taking it. He's nice and tough out there.
Yeah, Bird, such a physical, tall, 6'2", 214-pound quarterback. And when he can run like a running back, you just want to give him the ball and say go as many times as you can. Just wanted to see just a little more push out of this East D-line and linebackers to try and stop him. I mean, it was no issue for him to just walk into the end zone. This now a 26-22 ball game. A shootout here in Mason High School. We will step away for just a moment. We are back after the short break. See a shot of the moon, the cloudy skies. Perfect weather here at Mason High School. See the blue lights of Orion, the flashing light of Windseeker in the back over the horizon. Gogol will kick it away. Back at the end zone, no return for Ryder Hooks. And now Knutson now is asked to go out and score another touchdown. No help from his defense right now. Young quarterback, what do you think's going through his mind?
I'm thinking that he's ready for this kind of scenario because I know he's been working for this for a while now. Now Knutson has been playing football for a minute. He started on the freshman team for Lakota East last year, and he's got big shoes to fill now, and honestly, he's doing a good job. He's been going out there and working hard to keep this game close, and I think that's what he's going to continue to do.
He's been very efficient tonight, doing everything that East is asking him. As it'll be a short gain right up the middle for Ryder Hooks. Not too much doing, just second down and 8 now. Now Knutson has not been asked to really command the offense too much. I mean, Ryder Hooks has just been carrying this East offense down the field, but it seems like when you get in these red zone, now Knutson just knows exactly what to do to find the right guy. He's found Chris Boyer twice now, PJ McFarland on the 2-point conversion, so Knutson will drop back wide open. Carter Jones on the out route, could be dangerous, gets a block from McFarland down to the 50-yard line. There's no stopping either offense right now. Knutson with another great pass. Carter Jones must be his 10th catch today. And a great run after it.
Yeah, now Knutson, he's been one of those guys where you have him out there in the pocket, and if he can feel safe in the pocket, he can get that ball out, especially on these short to medium passes.
Yeah, Ryder Hooks now on the carry still. Mason defense doing a lot better job this drive of stopping him. It'll be about a 2nd and 9, just a 1-yard gain. Definitely going to think Knutson going to want to be airing it out here. Time ticking away in this third quarter. If both offenses cannot be stopped in this game, they're going to have to start scoring quickly. About to hit the fourth quarter. We'll see if they call a play. This could be the last play of the half. Out route to Carter Jones again. Trying to make a cut back to the inside. They will say he stepped out. It'll be close to a first down. Not quite sure if they'll give it to him. Might just be a little bit short. They will. A 3rd down and 1. This East offense does not have to call a play. Just 28 seconds left. Actually, they do have to call a play. They say Carter Jones stepped out. Clock stops. 28 seconds left in this third quarter. 3rd down and 1. Could be a huge play for this Mason defense to finally stop the bleeding. Knutson fakes the give to Hooks. PJ McFarland looks it in, and he will walk for the first down and more to the 30-yard line. Great play call that time. Mason loaded the right side, ready for Hooks. Knutson just took it himself, and a dump off to PJ McFarland will get the first down.
Yeah, and PJ McFarland actually steps out of bounds there at the end, and this drive is turning into a smooth sail down the field.
That time right over the lineman's head. PJ McFarland again. What do you do when you're down? Give it to your best player on offense. Not quite sure if it's Ryder Hooks or PJ McFarland, but right now, PJ McFarland with some huge catches. Now Knutson with some darts to the middle of the field. And East will let this third quarter tick away. They are driving 22-26. East trying to take the lead when we come back. We are back. Start of this fourth quarter, East down 22-26. See him in the huddle now. Guys like Chris Boyer, Jaden Say, Carter Jones, Ryder Hooks, PJ McFarland, all waiting to get their opportunity to put East ahead. Very quiet night for Jaden Say. I don't believe he has a single catch. Still, he's in East's back pocket. Could throw to him at any moment. Got to give a lot of credit to Darren Knotts and David Mesu for locking him up. I think the game plan for this one is just find Chris Boyer, give it to Ryder Hooks, and find PJ McFarland. Not too much being thrown, and Carter Jones in the Wildcat will make a cut. Walks in on the first play of the fourth quarter. Touchdown Thunderhawks. Carter Jones will put East ahead once again.
Carter Jones just running into the left side of that end zone on the Wildcat. That was beautiful. East goes up 28-26 to kick off this fourth quarter. And honestly, this is turning out to be, I think, one of the best games we've seen from Lakota East in this first quarter of the season.
Definitely a lot different than last season. The kick is up and good. 29-26 felt like last year. East, apart from this game against Mason, 20-13, that week 2 Lakota East victory last year, it just felt like either East got blown out or East would blow teams out. Second game of the season, a defensive battle, 14-7, and now we get a shootout in Mason High School.
Yeah, this
Not
is
exactly the most fun for an East fan. You want to win comfortably, especially playing a team rated as low as Mason in the GMC, but a lot of fun, I will say, a lot of fun to call a game like this. A lot of emotions up here in the booth. Can't even imagine what it's like down there on the field. This East defense gonna have to be asked to just try and get one stop. Your offense has come back again and again to put points on the board and keep you in this game. One stop for either of these teams could be the deciding factor. We will have to see East back in control. Up 3, gonna need a big stop from this defense.
Yeah, if this run defense can stay consistent, and honestly, that's not all we're gonna need. As we saw, that last Mason drive and their last touchdown was a passing play to, I believe, Alex Brown, the linebacker. So they're gonna have to keep themselves on their toes here.
Jamian Martin went all the way to his sideline about the 1-yard line to field that kick, and he still wanted to take it out. Could have been either a touchback or a penalty. He will get it to about the 30-yard line. A lot of aggressiveness shown from this Mason team. They're not afraid to air the ball out. They're having more freedom with what they do. Their team is feeling confident right now, definitely on the offensive side of the ball. D'Angelo Birch has just had his way in this game.
Yeah, for sure. And like you mentioned, D'Angelo Birch, his passing game was a little bit rough early on and even in some of this third quarter play. But there at the end, in his last touchdown pass to Alex Brown, I'm starting to think he might get in a little bit of a groove here. I'm thinking they might switch it up a little bit and throw the ball.
They'll keep it on the ground. Brandon Birdsong, haven't heard his name. Haven't seen him down on the field making plays all of that third quarter. A lot of it was just D'Angelo Birch, either throwing it or running it himself. But Brandon Birdsong had an amazing first half, so could be a little tired nearing the end of this game. Defenses already allowing a lot of points, could start to get worn out. D'Angelo Birch will keep it himself again. Dangerous runner, spins to about the 43-yard line. This East defense has no answer for these QB keepers right now.
Yeah, for sure. D'Angelo Birch has been absolutely crushing it, running straight up the middle again and again.
And he will do it again. Carson Schroyer this time, not letting him break free to get the first down. It'll be 2nd and 3. Carson Schroyer, one of these seniors on this linebacker core that you want to see step up, put a hit on D'Angelo Birch to finally stop his momentum. Dawson Reap, Carson Schroyer, Cole Miranda, Carter Fosnoff, all seniors. You really just want to see step up and stop him from doing what he's doing. All it could take is one play to jar that ball loose. Getting about as many carries as a running back.
If not more. He's been absolutely crushing it right now.
Birdsong again will shake a tackle.
And you got to think here, as they are just running it like crazy right now, this could be something where we see a big play from the East defense. Any one moment can change the whole course of this game. And East is trying to find that one moment right there. They're trying to find that spark and get a big play off here on defense.
One turnover could change the complexion of this game drastically. They'll give it to Torian Wiggins, who shakes and bakes close to the first down. He's been another one of those guys for Mason's offense that you just worry every time you see him touch the ball. He's very shifty. One of those guys can just make a big play from nothing, out of nowhere. It's really just been D'Angelo Birch, Torian Wiggins, and Brandon Birdsong all game. You got to think at some point East defense has to wake up and just stop it. Birch now gives it to Birdsong again, who has a hole, but that time an amazing tackle. Cole Miranda, he's fired up, coming down from the safety position to lay the hit on Brandon Birdsong. Possibly the spark that this East team needed. 3rd down and not so manageable now. 3rd and 6. Big moment for this East defense. Can they finally force a 4th down at midfield? And then it will be decision time for Mason, but don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here. 3rd down and 5. Birch gonna drop back, look to throw. He's got a wide open man on the outside. Jamian Martin, my apologies. Beckett Bush just lost him in coverage. An easy 3rd down pickup. And this Mason offense keeps marching.
Yeah, and East passing defense here, especially big names like Cole Miranda, has been kind of trying to manage some of these guys here on the outside.
Beckett Bush makes a nice tackle on D'Angelo Birch, possibly saving a touchdown. Once again, though, D'Lo just running everywhere. You got to give so much credit to this Mason O-line. I mean, while East has not been particularly great against the run, they're not just like getting pushed over most of these games, it feels like. But this one, this Mason O-line using their size to their advantage, hole after hole for their runners to run through. Definitely like to see that. As the O-line coach, they've had an amazing night. Birch will keep it himself. Drops back to Birdsong on the wheel route. Dawson Reap in coverage, and flags fly again. They're going to say pass interference on Dawson Reap.
This Lakota East away crowd And honestly, some other people, too, are not happy right now with that flag. And sounds like they got a little bit of a
apologies if we pick up any of the noise coming from this away crowd. A lot of obscenities being yelled.
These parents are not happy.
I'm not too happy either. It just seems like Mason's been getting bailed out. Finally, a huge opportunity for East, and Mason just gets put right down in the red zone. 1st and 10 from about the 11-yard line. Birch will keep it himself once again. Another hole. Spins down to about the 1-yard line. East defense just looks too tired right now to stop him. You got to wonder when is D'Angelo Birch going to get tired? I mean, he's had at least over 30 carries this game, and every single time he's just running straight into the pile without a thought in his mind, just trying to pick up as many yards as he can. Got to give him credit. I mean, that is just tough football.
Yeah, for sure. And D'Angelo Birch, he's been running like he doesn't know what's going to be happening tomorrow. When you got guys up front like Lennon Aguilar, I believe, and Joey Oscar on your offensive line, you trust them to keep you going.
They'll just hand it off to Birdsong this time, and he will get stopped a little bit short. East defense ready for that one. It will be 2nd down and goal now. Very close to a touchdown. We've seen this a lot before. Mason in the goal line. D'Angelo Birch, 2 keepers. He just walked in for the touchdown. Would not be surprised to see them go back to it. I mean, is there anything you can do if you're East right now? I mean, you're just getting pushed over.
Both by this Mason running offense and by the refs.
Birdsong again will go into motion. The same exact play that they scored on twice before. D'Angelo Birch, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the game. With 6 minutes, 22 seconds left, Mason takes the lead. And now Knutson and the rest of this East offense, I'll say it again, they have to answer back now.
Yeah, this has turned into quite the shootout. And this has become such a high-scoring game. I'm getting a little nervous up here. I don't know about you, but it's been crazy so far by both sides of the ball.
East has not started the season 3-0 in what feels like forever. Don't want to drop a game against a low-rated Mason Comet team. Score will be 33-29 after the made extra point. Mason just seems to be doing everything right now. There's no stopping D'Angelo Birch. East, 6 minutes, 22 seconds left to try and respond once more when we come back. We welcome you back. Another short break. Me and Ethan up here had to catch our breath. This has been a back and forth game the whole way through. East will receive this kickoff after another D'Angelo Birch rushing touchdown. 6 minutes, 22 seconds left in this game. With the way this Mason offense has been able to just pretty much walk down the field and score touchdowns at will, could we see a drive from now Knutson where you don't score too quickly? They've been relying on the big play. I mean, Ryder Hooks, Carter Jones, Chris Boyer, all making those big plays happen. They've been able to move down the field just as easily as Mason, if not better. Got to think what could be had that safety not happened in this first beginning of this game. And Carter Jones, it will bounce off his face mask. Once again, Carter Jones makes a cut upfield, trying to make up for it, though. He is brought down at the 18-yard line. That is twice now Carter Jones has muffed a kickoff. Good on him, though, for picking it up and taking it for about 13 yards afterwards. East will be set up 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, this Mason defense, even when they're coming back and scoring again and again to keep things close, you still have to be on your toes. Because as you've seen, East keeps coming out here and they keep scoring. This is going to be a shootout until the last second.
Gotta think all it takes now is one stop and a tip at the line and intercepted. That could be the deciding play of this one.
No flags on the field. The play is clean, and Mason will get the ball back.
Cameron Simmons, the linebacker, with a huge play for the Mason Comets. And a hush falls over the away crowd, supporting fans of Lakota East. Game still not over, but the way D'Angelo Birch has been moving the ball, you got to think that might be the knockout punch.
I'm looking out here, and I'm seeing Mason's left guard, Xander Gabri, was kind of limping coming out on the field. That just shows how much these offensive linemen have been put to work so far.
Is East D already tired? Going to have to be asked to stop D'Angelo Birch. He will drag East defenders for another gain of about 8 yards. Or not, a little bit of a hard angle to see. It'll just be about a 5-yard gain. If East is not able to, at very least, hold Mason to a field goal here, it's going to be such a high mountain to climb. Cannot let Mason get the ball into the end zone. I just don't know how you stop D'Angelo Birch right now.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, if I'm anybody on that East offense, especially Niall Knutson, there's different factors that weigh in. And if that was, not going to say the best time to throw a pick, because you have plenty of time left in this game to play defense and get the ball back. But at the same time, this position for Mason definitely not preferred, as the Lakota East parents are yelling once again.
Away section yelling play clock. No play clock being run down right now.
Mason has all the time in the world to play.
Away crowd not happy with the refs at all. This a game just filled with penalties. Mason has benefited more than East, but a lot of people probably going to be blaming this game on the refs. I don't know. I mean, Mason has had their fair share of penalties too.
Yeah, Mason has gotten a lot of calls, but none of them nearly as big or as penalizing. And refs still are not running the play clock.
Not quite sure why Mason got so much time that time. Not quite sure at all. But now, after what seems like 2 minutes, they will finally call their next play on a 2nd down and 5. Brandon Birdsong to the outside. Dawson Reap cuts him down. It'll bring up about a 3rd and 5. Absolutely have to get a stop here. You got to think if East is able to bring up a 4th down, you got to think Mason could go for the field goal, but the way they've been moving the ball, would not be surprised to see them just go for it on 4th down to try and really end this game. Still 4 minutes left. Don't want to count East out too quickly. But a big 3rd down and stoppage again. Timeout, Lakota East. We will stay with you. A roller coaster of a game here in Mason High School.
Sure, this is almost just like a second to breathe. It's been a very, very rough 4th quarter, and I definitely could say for myself that I am, not going to say exhausted, but I am ready to go home. And I don't know about you, Beck, but it's just been quite the match.
I myself am tired. And I'm mostly just tired of the refs. I'm not even mad at, like, who's getting the more calls. I'm just mad. It seems like he can't go at least just 3 plays without penalties flying. No play clock for Mason earlier that time. Just seems like the refs not quite sure exactly what they're doing most of these times. Don't want to be too critical, of course. But just you never want to see so much stoppage, so much penalties. Frustrating game for Lakota East, but got to give credit to Mason and the way their offense has just been able to move with ease. We knew all it was going to come down to was just one turnover or one stop at the very least from a defense, and Mason were the ones that were good enough to get that stop. Can't really blame now Knudsen, just his second interception thrown of the season. Both of his interceptions not his fault, both tipped passes. Unfortunate time there, but a 3rd and 5. Birch will keep it himself once again, and he will get the first down. D'Angelo Birch got to be MVP of this game if Mason is able to come away with a victory.
Yeah, this has just been D'Angelo Birch, honestly, has just been running for his life tonight. And this production that he's had against this East defense that we thought coming into this game was going to be elite, it's just insane. He's been going crazy.
I mean, Springboro was able to shut him down. Lakota West able to shut him down. I mean, this East defense, very much defensive line, has just been exposed. Mason using their size to their advantage. D'Angelo Birch not tired at all. Brandon Birdsong will get the carry. Gonna push it again close to a first down. Another thing I want to talk about, just Mason always on their first down plays. Just bring it. It's like every single time it's either a 2nd and 2, 2nd and short yardage, and then even if they get stuffed on 2nd down, it's still 3rd and short. I mean, they have really just had their best plays on offense always be on first down, and that's just the key to the game for them and a key to their victory. I mean, you got to hand it to him. Mason just is playing better right now on first down.
Yeah, for sure. And almost notice here that the play clocks are not on right now. I don't know what that's about.
Carson Schroy are going to bring down Brandon Birdsong. Now a 3rd down and goal, or a first down. They will pick up the first, so a 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Would not be surprised to see D'Angelo Birch do the same exact play to the left side. East gonna have to make a stand. They will call a timeout. Get their defense some breaths. Get ready for a crucial goal line moment in this game. This could be the deciding factor. We'll step away for just a moment. We welcome you back. 1st and goal now for the Mason Comets, just trying to punch this ball into the end zone with just 3 minutes left to go up 2 scores. Can D'Angelo Birch do it again? More flags fly. East could luck out here. It will back Mason up. A false start called. So life is back for the Thunderhawks. Not going to be as easy now. Still, though, 1st and goal from the 8-yard line.
Yeah, if you're for the East defense, you're glad that you got that penalty. A lot of these plays that they've been running with D'Angelo Birch is running him up the middle, and he just seems to go back at it.
He will take it again to the 1-yard line. D'Angelo Birch cannot be stopped right now.
Not at all. These conversions by D'Angelo Birch have just been lethal for this East defense. He's been able to get these short plays and these short runs when he needs them the most, and it's just happening time and time again.
Timeout called for Lakota East. Definitely want to get your defense some water, let them take a breath. This will most likely be the deciding factor. Can East stop Mason on the goal line? and stay in this game. If Mason is able to score a touchdown, most likely will be the knockout punch that Mason needs to pick up their first win of the season. Will be their first win in front of their home crowd, first game in front of their home crowd. Everyone at Mason got to be very happy with how their team has played.
Yeah, for sure. And this East away crowd came into this game with high expectations. And honestly, while East has been playing good, Mason's just been better.
So now, 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. You see Alex Brown in there, Brandon Birdsong, and of course D'Angelo Birch, same exact play. D'Angelo Birch, no one there to stop him. Touchdown Mason. That should be it.
That's just devastating if you're anybody out here tonight rooting for Lakota East, and you're going to go home after this game regardless of what East does with the 2.5 minutes they will have left. But it's a really hard battle to fight here if you're Lakota East.
Yeah, a lot of hope for this East team. Definitely wanted to start the season 3-0, but you got to give credit to where credit's due. Mason just was the better team tonight, especially on the ground. This East offense was not bad whatsoever. Just Mason's defense made 2 crucial plays. The safety that got them the ball and really jump-started their offense, and the tipped interception late in the game, able to set up that touchdown drive again. There's only been a few times in recent memory where 40 points has been hung on Lakota East's head. Remember, Moeller did it, Lakota West did it. That was the only times last year it felt like this East defense just had no answer. But D'Angelo Birch, easily over 200 yards on the ground, used his arms sparingly, but I am just so surprised that he was able to just keep running the ball, keep taking the hits again and again. Just shows how tough he is. And if East isn't able to score quickly, they will most likely go for an onside kick. No timeouts left, though, for Lakota East. They used it all on that goal line stand. That ended up being not a stand. D'Angelo Birch, 4th touchdown on the ground. Still, though, East with a chance, have to score quick, have to get the onside kick. They have big play threats all over the field. We've been saying it all year. Gogol with a very nice kick. Braxton Thurman will catch it out about the 1. Need a big return from him. He breaks the tackle, but he will get swallowed up before the 20-yard line. So wanted a bigger return. Now Knutson backed up deep in his own end again. East got to score quickly here.
Yeah, East has got now Knutson especially, he's got a heavy weight on his shoulders right now. He's down 11, and he's got 2.5 minutes to make up 11-plus points. And that's something that most experienced high school quarterbacks can't really do, but let's see if Niall Knutson can pull it off tonight.
Well, they'll give it to Ryder Hooks, and he will just get cracked down. Alex Brown, what a surprise. He's been everywhere today. The few times this Mason defense has been able to stop Lakota East offense, we've said his name. Not too much doing on first down. Definitely want a bigger play. Time keeps ticking away for Knutson. Under pressure, steps up in the pocket, fires over the middle of the field. It is caught by Jaden Zay, his first catch of the day. He breaks a tackle, trying to get to the outside. Brought down from Emerson Bake.
Now Knutson pretty much being thrown into a 2-minute drill here, except he's just got so much more he needs to be doing. And this is shaken up to be quite a game by Mason still.
Well, time will tick past the 2-minute mark. Do or die right now for East. A nice throw from Knutson again. Gets it out to Jaden Say. Finally getting some targets and some catches late in this game. Gotta wonder what East could have been doing earlier if they were getting him the ball. Knutson now in the hurry-up. After score quick, he will go deep down the field to Chris Boyer, who has a step, can't make the catch. Almost brought it in, a tough catch to make. Great defense there from Jakaya Killens. Normally playing that linebacker spot, was back there at safety. Chris Boyer who's had a huge night. Almost busted one loose to give East hope.
Yeah, Chris Boyer being thrown into double coverage down at the 10-yard line, I'd say. And you're going to want to see if you can run something similar here.
Little play action. Play is called dead. False start on the offense. So a monstrous mountain gets a little bit taller. East is backed up 5 yards. For sure not going to go to that screen pass to Ryder Hooks. Mason knows the look for it. Hooks looks like he could have had a little bit of space to move had that play not been called dead due to the false start. Knutson now drops back under a lot of pressure, escapes it again, sees nobody downfield, now fires to Chris Boyer, who makes another great catch. Man, this East offense looks amazing. Just unfortunate times they hit the field at the one. Unfortunate tip passes. Very happy with how this offense is played. Defense just needs a little bit of work. Knutson still moving the ball with ease right now. Has to escape the pocket again. Throws it downfield to PJ McFarland, who makes a great catch over 2 people and walks into the end zone. Oh my goodness. East hope is alive.
Look, PJ McFarland, what a play, breaking out of the coverage to catch the ball and then falling back into the end zone. Now East gets their lead. They cut this lead to 5 points, but that is not all they're going to need to do. They're going to need to achieve a point after or 2-point conversion and try and go for an onside kick after this.
Sorry for the confusion up in the booth. Mason, no Wi-Fi in their visitors box, having to run off a hotspot again. Seems like every week we find a way to make these streams difficult, but we try our best and we appreciate all of you for tuning in. Need a big onside kick now from AJ Fitzstevens. The 2-point try was not successful. Looked over the middle of the field, back of the end zone for Carter Jones. Could not bring it in. So East gonna need this onside kick and a touchdown to try and win this game. All relies on the leg of AJ Fitzstevens. This East team very used to doing onside kicks. Saw it at the very beginning of this game, was not able to get it. More stoppage from the refs. Timeout, Mason. We'll stay with you. Apologize if that 2-point conversion got cut short. Been running off a hot spot for the entirety of this game. 3+ hours. A little bit worried that it might have died, but still alive. And this East team still alive after an incredible drive from Niall Knutson. I mean, this kid's a sophomore, and he just moved the ball downfield like it was nothing. Throws over the middle, deep passes. You want to see him maybe get a little more zip on those deep balls, but you can't ask for much more than that. Excited for his future at Lakota East.
Yeah, for sure. Niall Knutson kind of bringing some more confidence to this offense. He's definitely getting better as this is going on.
Yeah, he's had a spectacular game, just unfortunately threw the interception that was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Not his fault at all. So now, this game relies on the leg of AJ Fitzstevens on the onside kick. It's to the left side, and Mason easily grabs it. Chris Hubbard with a nice recovery And Mason will hang on and eke out a 40-35 victory. D'Angelo Birch will come out to take 2 kneels. And the Comet home crowd walks away happy.
Yeah, and this Mason team, they just played great. The running game's been on fire. You've seen a couple little spurts of passing, but mainly we got to give all of this credit here to this quarterback, D'Angelo Birch. He's just had an insane night on the ground, and East defense just hasn't been able to stop him.
D'Angelo Birch will kneel the ball out. And Mason will knock off the #1 team in the GMC. Also want to bring attention to Lakota West playing Hamilton, the other undefeated team in the GMC. Both Hamilton and Lakota East will unfortunately fall this week, as the last time we checked, West was up 31-6 at halftime. So no more undefeated teams in the GMC. Mason picks up their first win of the season in front of their home crowd. D'Angelo Birch fired up. A disappointing way to end for Lakota East. A lot of things to improve on in the next week on defense in practice, but we appreciate you tuning in and watching our stream. I'm Beck Lucas alongside Ethan Lennon. Want to give a shout out to all of our athletic boosters, along as Butler Tech, supplying us the equipment to make these streams possible. And you, the fans at home watching these games, you're the reason that we do this. Come to Mason and stream these games. Beck Lucas and Ethan Lennon signing off for now. Good night, everyone.